Hello guys, hope you're doing well today. I thought I'd make a video discussing Project Cars 3 and how it's differed from Project Cars the original game and Project Cars 2, because I think they're going down a development path that is seriously going to disappoint many sim racers on the console and the PC alike for those that played it on the PC. Because Project Cars 2, even though it had its issues and its problems, it was on console one of the only sims that you could play, and it was pretty good for league racing and what have you. But now what the developers are talking about is far from that. Let's have a listen to a part of a segment from an interview that was done for Project Cars 1. Listen to what the developer says and see how it contrasts to Project Cars 3.
Circuit's Zhuhai in China as well. Players can jump into the game as well and drive down the California highway coast or equally along the French Riviera. So tracks are really important, and we wanted to make sure we had a really global spread of tracks there. When it comes to motorsports as well, we're representing a number of different motorsports from around the world, whether that is GT or touring or Le Mans prototypes or even karts. In terms of the scope, again, the name is Project Cars. We wanted to make sure it wasn't just about road cars that you kind of upgrade and turn them into race cars. It was every kind of form of car culture from around the world.
Interesting note in what he says there's a lot to unpack, but about he didn't want it to be Project Cars about upgrading road cars to race cars. Well, isn't that exactly what Project Cars 3 looks like and what they've said? So completely going against their initial statement in Project Cars 1. Now let's read what the three developers of Project Cars, or three developers from Project Cars, what they've said in the first developer blog. So let's start off then from the first developer, called Chris Pope, lead designer. So let's see what he says. Yes, Project Cars 3 from a game design point of view is focused far more on the drive than the previous two games. With the new installment, the direction was to laser in what makes motorsport evoke so much passion in those of us who love the sport. The cars, the driving, the racing, the speed. We're really narrowed down on these things with Project Cars 3. Well, that sounds good so far, but let's go further down to a different designer to see what he says about the sim parts of the game. This time it's Nick Pope, principal vehicle handling designer. So what does he say? Well, so for example, by removing tyre wear and fuel usage, we could in turn remove pit stops, which result in much closer and more consistent racing. Thus the whole process of getting to the parts that matter most, the actual racing and driving of these amazing cars and their upgrades, became a far easier and more streamlined affair. All of this after design decisions have had great results in terms of the racing, with the tyres at their optimal range all the time and fuel at optimal load. There is no break in the action to stop for more fuel or new rubber. It's pure racing action, and it's just made Project Cars 3 into a much better racing driving experience. Okay, from a point of view of entering a race in a quick time that you got spare 15 minutes and you hop in for a race, that's great. But for league racing and other principles, this sounds awful, because basically it takes away the sim part of Project Cars, which is most of their fan base. Yeah, he says there that the actual racing and driving of these amazing cars and their upgrades. What's this upgrade system? So they've taken away something and added an upgrade system, so that's going to be annoying when you're online if that's the fact that someone has a different upgrade to you, you don't know which one is better. So a strange design choice there, especially if you're in equal cars apparently. This all sounds great if it was an arcade game, but Project Cars is built on the fact that it was meant to be a sim for the consoles and for the PC as well. Let's have a look at the trailer for Project Cars 3 and the gameplay, and you can decide whether for yourself if this is a sim or an arcade game. Now, moving on to the gameplay, let's watch some. Does this not remind you of Grid Autosport or Grid 2 and Need for Speed Shift, with the upbeat tempo music and the trees going by really fast to create some sort of speed distance? This is really not a sim game, or like it was originally based on Gran Turismo and Forza. This is more like a Need for Speed game, which is not what the audience of Project Cars wants. So I really do think Slightly Mad Studios has gone down a route that is not going to end well for them. Now I have a feeling this is to do with someone that bought them recently, but let's leave that up to speculation rather than fact right now. I have a feeling if this game was named something different, like Project Cars Rookie to Pro or something like that, that's just off the top of my head, but I think it would have a different feel because you go, okay, it's for people new to sim racing rather than those that love sim racing. Because I think it's going to alienate the audience thinking Project Cars 3 is going to be something completely different to what they're going to get. Anyway, that's my current thoughts on the game. I might make another video if they release more information about the game and test it out. But for now we'll leave it at that. If you like this video, please subscribe, comment and share, that would be fantastic. But this has been Video Boy, over and out. I'll catch you guys on the track. Take care guys.